All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Game Two's draft here between ZMG and CB Rush. ZMG has chosen blue side for Game 2. Perhaps they'll play or have a little bit of a better time here with the earlier pick. Of course, bands 1 and 2 are technically uh, discarded by ZMG as a result of their emergency sub. However, Nyla is already disabled due to being too new, and both teams have handshake agreed. No, it sounds like both teams had handshake agreed to let Teemo be the second no ban, but it seems that ZMG has decided to leave it blank. Not wanting to invite any trouble from Aegis, I suppose. That being said, the big question mark here is what we'll see from ZMG for the third ban, and it's the Vel'Koz
Really?
again.
The Vel'Koz? I honestly felt like that Silas was kind of a problem. That
Yeah,
maybe they have a different approach where they won't have a team full of juicy Silas ults.
yeah, but who else is in Azir's champion pool? We've mostly seen him play the Azir. We've mostly seen him play the Swain in terms of what he's been on this season. So he'll kind of have to reach into his back pocket pretty deep to find a pick if he's not going with the Swain here.
Oh, and it looks like they will first pick the Ziri.
That leaves the J4 up.
I
Cade,
really, I really felt like they should have first picked J4, and then I mean, like T. Garden is a very strong Ziri player, but like I feel like Sivir honestly was kind of beating the Ziri last game.
Sivir did well. Cade had an incredible game on the J4. I can't understand what's going through ZMG's mind here with some of these draft decisions. We do see the Callista coming out first from CB Rush, though.
Say though, one good thing is as long as they don't hard um lose early on, Callista really does fall off as a champion around 30 minutes. So if they drag this game out, there is a good chance of
Ooh, now
mm,
that's a bot lane combo right there.
it is technically a flex, but I do think that's probably a Mumu support over a Mumu jungle.
Yeah, I mean, there's no questioning the power of throwing in that Amumu and having the perfect Amumu ult without having to put in any effort, hardly. Does leave the J4 open for ZMG if they want it. They pick the Karma instead. I assume that's going over to Skips in the bot lane here.
Feel like maybe something like a Morgana might have been better, especially with an Amumu, just so that you can give your Ziri a black shield.
However, if the Ziri is the only person not being stunned, is that much better than having everyone stunned? We do see the Victor taken by Azir. I mean, Silas doesn't have any strong targets at the moment, but CB Rush can leave him for later in the draft. Only 2 bans available to ZMG in the second round, of course. And a lot is left on the table, including that J4 still. Instead, the Kindred is picked away this time.
Deciding to just pick and ban away reality's uh,
Champion pool.
jungle pool. Mhm.
Lots of question marks from ZMG so far on some of their decision making here in the first half of draft. I wonder if these last 2 picks will be able to clear anything up.
CB will ban. Oh, they banned the Diana. So I guess.
I guess
Um,
they're saying take the Jarvan here. They're offering up the J4 for reality to play. I don't know that I particularly love the J4 into this comp that ZMG has started drafting,
yeah,
though.
I'm like I don't think J4 is a good pick into their comp right now. Actually,
I mean, I just don't like their comp at all because they lost the game early, and they're picking a late game team comp here. Unless,
Hey, Azir's not really known to be a safe player, so like into that team comp, Azir is really just gonna have to be like farming on his turret and like just trying to hyperscale. Because if he steps up any at all without any sort of vision, he's just dead. It looks like it will be the Vex mid.
and CB Rush is going in 100% onto this deep dive comp. I really do think that CB has won draft so far. Unless ZMG has something out of their back pocket here, I think that CB with the mid game is going to win this. And I don't.
Nocturne.
It's, mm.
I who's going in with him?
And Nocturne excels in the early mid game, like levels 6 to 9, when he can really take advantage of that ult before people have enough health or damage to either shred through him or survive him. And nobody on ZMG's team wants to go in early. I feel
I guess
like,
like, Camille. Camille is someone.
I mean, Camille is so much happier waiting till late though. I just I feel like there's a split focus here between ZMG's lanes and ZMG's jungle, and I worry that that's going to leave Reality in a rough spot where he's not going to be able to contribute enough in the early game to be relevant in the late game. We do see the Renekton is the final lock here to face into that Camille.
Pretty sure skill matchup, but I can look up. Camille wins 55% of the time into a Renekton. Or 52, my bad. 52% of the time.
Does does the stats page you're on tell you what the average duration of those games is?
Okay, this is top. It's for Plat
It might
Plus.
not tell you, but I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of those are games that last long, right?
Uh, they have a high win rate around the 25 to 30 minute mark, it seems.
Yeah.
And the later it dips around the 35 to 40 mark, and then it goes back up around the 40 minute mark.
Okay.
So mid game, and then like a late game.
Well, either
They
way,
forgot to pay attention that last game, but you remember how Orin went the spell book?
yes.
Did you see if he was really utilizing the different spells?
He was swapping spells. I don't know how effectively they were used, but he did swap a couple of them.
Why he was randomly mid at one point? I was like, oh, he's mid. Now
Yeah.
he's top.
I mean, the question for ZMG here, I think it's pretty obvious, is can they manage to survive until deep enough in this game that Victor and Zeri and Camille can start putting damage out? And if they can survive that late, I think they have a good shot at winning. But if they
I
start
do
slipping
think
in the early game, I think that they lose in a very snowball matchup.
they, in theory, I believe, have the better scaling comp, especially since CB Rush has a Callista. Callista does not scale the best.
Oh, absolutely. CB Rush has very much a mid-game team here.
This is like CB Rush wants to end by like 25 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
And they did that with great success in game one.
However, if ZMG is able to hold out to the like 30-40 minute mark, I do think that they do just outscale.
Yeah.
Late game, Camille should be able to definitely beat a Renekton. And then Zeri should be a little bit more relevant than at Callista. And then Victor is Victor. He just does a lot. He kind of ends early, does nothing mid game, and then suddenly one shots your whole team late game. or at least that's been my experience with Victors.
Yeah, that sounds about right. My concern is I don't know if we've seen ZMG Legends show the ability to play cautiously.
I remember Azir and I once had a conversation about that because I was talking about like how when I get off rolled into mid lane, I tend to kind of just play fairly safe. I don't really int, but I just kind of scale and then excel in the team fights because I'm usually playing a support mid lane at that point.
Sure.
Um, and I like he just pretty much said that I was just getting carried at that point, but like because
Okay,
I
but
wasn't really playing.
when the other option is to end up with an enemy laner that is 4 items at 21 minutes, I don't know that that holds up
I
necessarily.
but I feel like Victor itself is a scaling champion and should force Azir to play safer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we will have to see. That does not appear, from what we've seen so far in APL, to be the playstyle of anyone on this ZMG team. But perhaps they'll pull out something new, show that they can expand the playbook, and bring back a win here versus CB Rush to keep this series alive. That being said, though,
I believe. Like I feel like they have a good shot this game.
yeah. Well, that being said, we will step aside for just a couple of minutes as these teams load onto the Rift. When we come back, the start of Game 2 here between CB Rush and ZMG Legends. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will be right back.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. And I'll be running, possessed by a low, low voodoo. Fired up like a wolf on a full moon. And we're stuck in a la la land. The tides will turn without us. And I'll be killing time like I might be a cartoon. Take it in real life like haiku. I know we got the good vibes when pieces fall right into place. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rift here for Game 2 between ZMG Legends on the blue side and CB Rush on the red. CB Rush did take Game 1 in convincing fashion, winning 32-9 in a game that never really felt close after the first few minutes. ZMG looking to play this game out for the long haul, it seems. Wants to let this go pretty late and perhaps be able to take it a little bit slower, I think.
And I guess another notable point is the fact that Donut is on a bruiser kind of carry top lane versus being on the Orin tank duty.
And more importantly, is on a champ that he's much more comfortable on. Has played a lot of Camille. Looks like we have slightly more normal runes from everyone this time around. No, no spellbook to be seen today.
Yeah, he definitely has. I feel like the correct runes on Camille there, especially I think grass is it, right? Is it grass or does she ever go conqueror? I don't really know. I feel like every top laner goes conqueror.
Grasp, Conquer, and Press the Attack are the three that I normally see on Camille.
Oh, it looks like at some point we did get CB did get some deep vision on the red buff, but
Yes, Amumu did have a small invade that allowed him to get that off.
see, look at the Camille image on the little baby red dinosaur. Oh wait,
Papa Skips gets chained up early here by the Amumu, down to about 200 health, forced to flash away. Insanity putting out some good lockdown early. Teagarden did get damage back onto both members there, but both are around 2/3 health. So we'll be able to continue to put out the pressure here.
I feel like they just kind of gave up their level 2 advantage there, or potential level 2 advantage there.
The chain comes in. Papa Skips does not have flash and will go down. First blood to Glacial with the Rend. And disaster early.
Mimu did just put the thumbs up emote there, and I'm pretty sure that's actually against the rules. I would have to double check on that.
Are we certain that it was an additional emote and not part of his first blood?
Be the first blood emote actually.
Yeah. Reality does get caught out by Cade here, taking a lot of damage from this Kindred early. Camille does have the roam prio, and Victor is on his way as well, but it looks like Kindred will be able to hop the wall here and get out without any problems. However, looks like Reality and Azir have to be careful now as Rutledge has joined this fight. Cade forced to flash away, but does get feared, and now Rutledge is in trouble. The Renekton has roamed to join the fight, but it is now a 3v2. And Donut does have the advantage here, pushed out early. Pip going in very deep, does get one kill. CB Rutledge gets the second, and now it's Azir versus Rutledge, and Rutledge has double buffs. The gravity field goes down, does not quite get the stun, and now Azir has to be very careful. Rutledge does have double buffs, does have the fear up in just a second here. Looks like both mid laners will walk away, though.
What's it called? It does seem that Nocturne got both kills, which I don't actually think is that bad early on, especially since I feel like Nocturne will be making a lot more team plays early on than Victor will. However, that is kind of a feels bad moment for Camille. Now is behind CS and, didn't really get much out of it other than maybe like baby assist.
And now Reality is going to be in trouble again. Does get stunned up by Pip here. Looks like Reality did get the Scuttle Crab, but now Donut as well in trouble, forced to hookshot over the wall. Will be able to get away, but feels like Cade and Pip have the pressure advantage here on the top side of the map.
This kill bot lane, it does look like both ADCs are still about even in CS.
Even so far, biggest CS lead we see is in the top lane, but Donut does have a slightly large wave to catch here. Should be able to close that gap just a touch, assuming he farms perfectly. Glacial has to be a little bit careful here as Amumu is roaming. Might have spotted out that Nocturne. I don't think he did, though. Amumu is now ganking the mid lane, but Kalista is a little bit out of position now with the Nocturne coming to gank. Will finally be spotted on that pink ward. Glacial with the hops will be able to get away perhaps. Taking a lot of damage, though, from the Karma. Does get rooted under the turret, and Teagarden will take that kill. The Rend is not quite enough to kill Teagarden there.
And I think with that, they should be able to get priority over this Drake.
Looks like the Nocturne is going ahead and starting it. Rutledge did choose to back just a moment ago, so will not be able to come down to help out the Amumu.
It does look like Kindred is invading Nocturne's top side, which means that Camille needs to play somewhat safer.
Especially safe, considering that a single trade from Pip did take Donut down to about half health here. So
However, they are getting close to level 6, and I do believe that Camille could win that fight if she's getting turret off.
could perhaps win that fight. However, the damage coming out from Pip is incredible. Donut is down to about 300 health already. And at that low of a health, I believe that the Dominus will be enough to keep Pip alive should he choose to dive here. Donut isn't even 6 yet. Pip can go right now if he wants. The Dominus is popped. The damage coming out onto Donut will get the kill, and Pip executing the turret dive perfectly, gets the kill, gets out, no problem.
You remember when I said if Camille hit 6? You see,
Camille did not hit 6. That was
Camille
slightly
did not hit-
problematic.
Oh, and we'll be teleporting back top, which I feel like is fine since we were gut drag. There's no priority. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
He
And
doesn't
Pip
need TP
does
for
not have TP, so we'll be walking back.
Personally do not like a ward in that bush. Personally, I think pixel bushes are really great, or kind of a little bit further up if you aren't using a pink ward, mainly because typically if you see someone in that bush, it's already a bit too late to get out.
The Amumu connects once again onto Teagarden. Only forces the dash, though Glacial did not choose to re-engage, but the second stun comes out. Teagarden down to half health here. Glacial does get exhausted by Skips. The skewers are coming out and putting the hurt onto Teagarden and Skips. Glacial is down to about 500 health, but with how low Teagarden and Skips are, Teagarden has 6, but looks like Skips is only level 4, and Rutledge is down here as well. Victor is slowly roaming over, but this is still a strong, advantageous moment for CB Rush. With Victor joining the fight, Amumu going in deep. The Kalista ult will have to be popped here. No, it's not. Looks like we're going to get a trade 2 for 1 here, unless Glacial can finish off the kill. No, Vex gets it. The Nocturne going in deep on the Renekton will be able to clean up that kill. Looks like both mid laners are going to perhaps walk away. Rutledge trying his best to escape from the Azir. Will he take the second half of that dash? Looks like the answer is no. Azir does get feared here, but now Rutledge is in a bit of a problematic situation, down to about 100 health and will likely fall. Cade might be able to clean up the kill onto Donut here on the top side. Looks like no, as Reality has rejoined this fight. Donut has to be careful here. Looks like we'll get out just fine. Cade is forced to flash. And all that advantage that CB Rush had built up went down the drain there in a series of fights that just a bit overextended, a bit
too aggressive, honestly.
Yeah, too aggressive, too confident in the damage that they could put out. Not sure why Kalista didn't pop her ult there. Could have saved the Amumu and perhaps turned that fight if he had gotten the knock-up with the Amumu toss. Amumu was obviously not 6, but still could have done some serious disruption. The flash forward from the Amumu will lock up Skips here. Skips is down to about half health as the second stun lands. Skips will fall to the Rend. Glacial is going to be a problem on this Kalista, even if they continue to take questionable fights.
Earlier, though, where like if you're going to be taking like a shield support kind of deal, I honestly feel like a Lulu or like a Morgana would be a little bit better in these situations. Because imagine if Morgana had, if that was a Morgana there, just black shield and walk away and be like,
This is true. The second bandage toss from the Amumu has been powerful here. Cade does get spotted out on a ward. The Vex is also deep invading here, but Nocturne is on this side of the map, so this would be a 4v3 if this fight were taken. Kindred does get spotted out here. We'll take a bit of poke from Skips and Teagarden. So it looks like this will be a 3v3 here. Nocturne does have the ult, does have the Nightmare. Going in from Amumu, lands the stun onto 2, but the root lands, the fear lands, and Reality gets 2 kills there with the help of Skips, and Cade is not able to finish out the last kill. Vex has not joined this fight, and Cade will fall as well. Disastrous for CB Rush, but a great 3-0 for ZMG Legends.
Honestly, felt like Ziri should have gotten one of those kills. Like if they were kind of dead. A few of them were kind of already dead. I feel like you really need to get a kill or 2 onto the Ziri. But I mean, 4-0 Victor is also kind of, pretty nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Having a Victor this far ahead early is pretty solid. Up about 1,500 at the moment. Not quite
kind of reverse. Oh, sorry.
Not quite as far ahead as Rutledge was last game, but doing his best to perform his Rutledge imitation.
It's still a completed Luden's Echo, or wait, is it called a Luden's Echo anymore?
Yes, it
Called
is still
Luden's.
Luden's Echo.
Okay, I feel Tempest. It's Luden's Tempest.
Is it?
It's Tempest.
Oh, jeez. It's fine. I still call them tabbies, so.
Yeah. Anyways, we've been playing this game too long. You know, it's fine.
Yeah. Just a little bit. We do see
Versus
the Drake.
just a lost chapter, though. That was my point before I.
Yeah.
That will be a dragon over to CB Rush though.
So that does equalize the dragons here.
Oh, Camille's starting to do some damage to that Renekton.
Does do some serious damage to the Renekton. However, the healing from that Q is still impressive on the Renekton.
It looks like they will attempt to get these Rift Herald, except I would have liked Victor to already be in lane.
Yeah, Victor not being in lane. Let's Vex roam. Let's the Kindred be here. Renekton is not joining this fight, though. Renekton is only now joining. So that puts Cade and Rutledge in a tough spot here. The Nocturne ult comes out, but the Kindred ult... I thought Vex was in range for that. Okay. Donut does fall to the Renekton, but that is a 2-for-1 at the moment as we see fighting in the bot lane. Pip is trying to clean up here, will get a second kill. Will he fall to the Azir, or will to the Victor of Azir? Yes. So that is a 3-for-2 on the top side of the map, and a 1-for-0 on the bot side, as Glacial and Insanity did lose that fight pretty badly.
Feels like CB Rush was a little bit too confident in their early game.
Yeah, they've taken some questionable fights, and it's definitely not paid off for them. There have been some fights that they really didn't need to take that have absolutely given gold over to ZMG's pocket that should not have been there this early in the game, and it has played in ZMG's favor. However, Cade and Insanity, once again, walking a little bit too far forward, but turning directly onto Teagarden, forcing him to E out. Now that emote was definitely not allowed.
Which emote?
Teagarden emoted in the bush there.
Well, someone can see it. Well, except us.
Yes. So, if you're watching the stream, sorry, probably too late to report that. However, Donut getting a lot of damage taken from Pip. Pip put him about a third health with that single trade there, and no return damage. So the Renekton can still absolutely hurt. Cade going in on his ear, but the Vex ult does not connect. And now Cade's in trouble, forced to flash out, running away from that Chaos Storm for all he's worth. The last shock will not land, but the Q from Azir is enough as now the Nocturne comes out. The second Fear will connect, and Reality gets the kill onto Rutledge with the help of that Prowler's Claw.
This
However,
almost looks like
Amumu going in hard. Teagarden has to be careful. Teagarden will fall here to the Rend, and now Skips has to be careful. The Rend is not quite enough. The shield from the Karma keeps himself alive.
I was gonna say though, this almost looks like a completely different ZMG team though. This game.
It really does. This is a ZMG that seems aware of the map. A ZMG that seems to be working together as a team. A ZMG that is doing a good job of countering the engages from CB Rush.
I will say though, I think they will be needing to put some attention in that top lane to try to make sure that Camille can continue to 1v1 this Renekton. Camille does not seem to be doing very well.
Camille is 0-3-5, does have the 5 assists, is not completely out of the game, but Renekton is winning these trades. We also saw that CB Rush did manage to get first turret despite the Rift Herald being popped in the bot lane, as Pip going in hard onto Donut will get the kill. No chance for the Hextech ultimatum to be popped. And that is the second well-executed dive we've seen from Pip. Not sure how
Azir would be gifted the boo buff.
Yeah. Not sure how I feel about the Merc treads on the Renekton here. At least at this point in the game.
I think he probably should have gone the Net Ninja, the
plated steel caps.
Plated steel caps, yes, those.
We
Those boots.
we also see him picking up the Hex Drinker. I guess he's very scared of the Victor, but
I
I
feel like
feel
he's
like
delaying his build too much considering he's ahead in lane.
yeah, I feel like that is definitely a one or the other. You either take the Hex Drinker or you take the Merc Treads, but not both. Amumu looking for a hook over the wall. With 4 members here, this Amumu could be problematic. The Vex going in first. The Amumu does not manage to pop the ult before he dies. Azir is the first casualty on ZMG, but now Glacial has to be careful. Reality, using that stopwatch to good effect, will stay alive for a little bit longer, but Pip is going in deep. Pip absolutely disrupting here, as now Skips is forced to run. The Camille has not joined this fight, though. T-Garden is going in hard on Glacial. Will he have enough damage? No, Glacial survives, and with the Rend does take down T-Garden, and Skips will fall as well. A disastrous 1 for 4 there. Camille does get a lot of damage down onto this turret, but they lose another Drake as well. Won't even be able to take the turret as Pip does TP back.
I almost feel like, well, the issue there is, obviously Victor was the one who decided to front that fight. I don't think Victor should have been walking in first. That was kind of
Absolutely not.
questionable.
And it
And he
looked
just
like it
gave a
was
shutdown.
it looked like it was going to be a good fight. They got the Amumu out of the fight without having used his ult.
Well, the issue is Azir also, right after walking in, also walked out of the Kindred ult that was keeping him alive.
That was fairly unfortunate. Reality bought a lot of time, but T-Garden and Skips weren't able to take advantage of it either. T-Garden just not far enough ahead at this point to be able to start putting out the damage into tanky members like Pip.
Down to what I was kind of saying earlier, how Azir and Reality have kind of gotten all the kills on the team, which is fine for them per se, but you really need to somehow get the Camille and the Ziri back into the game, or they're just gonna be.
Well, here seems like an option as the ultimate comes out onto the onto the Renekton, forced to use that Dominus and the Flash to get away, but with the Amumu there, did dissuade Nocturne and Camille from going in any further on that.
Saying earlier, like early kills on Nocturne is good. However, at some point, the Ziri and this Camille really need to get some gold if they're going to be split pushing.
The Zeri isn't too far behind at the moment, only about 300 gold down on the Callista, but the Renekton is ahead by nearly 3,400 at this point.
Like in those early skirmishes up top, Reality got the kills on ZMG side, and Renekton got the kills on CB Rush.
Absolutely. Not a whole lot of damage coming out with either of these bot duos poke here. Karma not putting out a whole bunch of damage at this point, now that some natural resistances have been built up by the later levels. Looks like Amumu's going in hard. Does dodge the chain, though, so T-Garden will be perfectly fine.
It does seem, though, that the Kindred has been focusing on power farming after the
Nocturne ulting once again onto the Renekton here. Renekton does not have ult, now has ult, but it will not be enough. The shutdown does finally go over to the Camille.
And with that, Camille should be able to get back into the game, especially since she just got an extra 700 on top of the kill.
Only 400. It was a total of 700.
400?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a total of 700. I was like, I see 700. That's a lot of gold.
Yes.
That's like half an item. Well, it's half of a component of an item, depending on what item.
Yeah. However, it cost them 2 Nocturne ults that could have been used to put pressure elsewhere on the map just to get Camille 1 kill. Is that a worthwhile trade for ZMG?
I will say, though, I am getting a little bit scared with what's happening mid lane. I really do feel like Amumu's about to do a big play here.
The Callista ult was popped defensively to save the Amumu earlier, so no Callista ult is available. Amumu does dodge the Death Ray, but will fall here to the Chaos Storm, it looks like. Does fall. The Vex going in very deep. Will he be able to pick up Skips? Yes. Now Glacial, though, is in trouble as Donut is taking him out, and now Caden Rutledge. Will they have enough to survive? The Kindred ult is popped here. Damage coming down onto Donut. Donut forced to use the Kindred to survive, but the Vex picks up another kill. So that's going to be a 4 for 2 in favor of ZMG here, and now Pip is the only member alive. The only downside is if you're ZMG, there's no real objectives on the map that you can take. So a very well taken fight, but just not a great time for it.
They didn't really get much, except maybe some priority over vision for around the Drake.
Looks like it, as Skips is roaming that way. Meanwhile, Amumu is on the top side of the map. Not quite sure why he was up there, I guess, as a counter against the dive onto Pip, if that were happening. But
Or maybe they just wanted to make sure that they weren't going to try to take Baron, maybe?
that's possible. The Zeri was up. However, it looks like, despite blue team getting out on the map earlier, looks like CB Rush does have control over the vision here.
Azir, please don't. That was very, very scary.
Yes, Azir loves to take over-aggressive routes through the jungle, and has been punished on occasion. Does not get punished here, but very, very dangerous. The TP coming in from Pip. Looks like this is going to be the signal to go for CB Rush. Blue team does take the dragon, but now Vex is deep in the team. Does have to pop that stopwatch as Azir now running out of health. Pip will get that kill. Will die for it. Perhaps, yes. Now Glacial and Amumu are very, very low. Looks like they will fall as well. So one kill is taken. Azir does fall, but that's a 5-person ace here for ZMG. And with enough members alive, it looks like they're going to go for Baron as well.
By the way, the Nocturne was able to get the Baron. Not Baron, the dragon.
Yes.
It wasn't stolen.
He took that before the fight even started. It was a very late call from CB Rush. And looks like they're going to take this without any troubles, except perhaps Reality's health bar getting a little bit low if he's not careful here. Down to about 300 health. Does get the shield from Karma. Looks like he'll be okay, but just barely.
That was a little scary. But with Kindred just slowly coming out of base, and it wasn't too bad.
Reality didn't even have a smite for safety there. He was playing on an absolute knife's edge with that particular health bar.
He believed in Papa Skip's shield. It's fine.
Yeah, of course.
I will say though, it is approaching the 25-minute mark, and Callista's not like super ahead. Like, she's doing fine, but she's not like carrying the game, kind of Callista-y.
No, she's not as far ahead. Nobody on this CB Rush team is as far ahead as they would have wanted with this mid-game comp. Except for perhaps the Renekton, but one player does not a convincing fight make. Callista is getting closer to the third item Runeans, though.
I will say though, CB Rush has started focusing Victor in these fights. Oh.
Yeah, he has been taken out a couple of times here without being able to do a whole bunch. But the health bars on CB Rush have just not been long enough to take these extended fights that ZMG has managed to turn them into. Donut is pushed out a little bit heavy here, though. Does not have a bunch of vision. Reality is in the area. And it looks like CB Rush is going to be forced to respawn mid lane instead. The Amumu flashing forward only gets the stun onto the Victor, who is forced to pop the Zanyas immediately. Now the entirety of CB Rush is on the back foot, but Reality, taken very, very low here, will have to pop the Guardian Angel as Captain Donut popping the Mastery there. A little bit questionable. Pip going in does manage to assassinate the Nocturne, but it will not be enough as the Zeri gets a triple kill, and now Rutledge is the only member alive, and with about 250 health, will not be able to defend this inhibitor turret. Perhaps both teams have just decided that they're gonna emote freely throughout this game.
If both teams are doing it, I guess I'm not going to... You can't really rule book when both sides do it.
Yeah. The inhibitor does fall in the mid lane. Looks like ZMG will back off now. Azir's Zanya's bought a lot of time for the rest of ZMG to get into that fight. Despite the good engage onto him, the flash forward for a single person on the Amumu ultimate seems like it was not the correct play there for Insanity. And now that they've missed their mid-game spike, CB Rush is on the back foot here.
Comp definitely does heavily rely on getting ahead early and ending the game out, which doesn't seem to be the case currently.
Well, as we said, the win condition for ZMG was being able to make this game last. They have done that, and now the Renekton's going to be in trouble once again. Captain Donut getting yet another kill. Seems like Nocturne is content to just continue to dive that Renekton on cooldown. And the fact
These
that...
the candy's been really like huge in this game so far, especially with those Nocturne ults.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of being where CB Rush doesn't want him to be.
Yeah, and once again, the question of the build path of the Renekton is rearing its ugly head as he has full completed the Maw of Malmortius. But he's being
Like I was
dived
kind
by
of
a Camille and a Nocturne.
looks like they will send everyone to the Camille potentially. To see
Letting
if they
this
can
Ocean Drake go, so we are going to see a 6th dragon here. And in 5 minutes it will be sole point for ZMG.
So at this point, it's really kind of up to ZMG on how they're able to close out this game, because they have all the tools necessary currently to get the W.
Yes, they have the advantage. They've managed to decimate the enemy team's win condition. Now it's just down to execution.
It looks like they are doing a 4-1 split.
They are. Looks like CB Rush does not want to fight this. Reality does get stunned up, but the turret dies too quickly. The Nocturnal going out onto this supposedly isolated member here, flashing away from his team. Rutledge, not quite sure that's the direction he wanted to go, as now Cade is in trouble. Glacial on the other side of the fight, putting out a lot of damage, but with the Hextech ultimatum will be locked up and will be killed. Now Pip is going in deep. The hook from the Amumu, I don't think he wanted to go in there. Rutledge with the fear does stop Donut's re-engage. And this is a good slowdown fight from CB Rush, but it is not enough. 2 members falling, and it looks like this inhibitor turret's going to be next. Looks like, though, that ZMG will back out, not be able to take the inhibitors. And these health bars are blinking for ZMG, but they are able to get out. And we're starting to really see the problem with CB Rush's comp. It's a comp that relies on getting ahead, relies on that mid-game spike, but once you get past that point, this dive team comp really just blows up as soon as they engage.
Especially since Kindred more or less has been forced to ult kind of early, which
the
has
Nocturne ult coming in once again. Kindred does not have ult yet. Will fall here to Donut. Amumu and Vex will soon follow, and that's going to likely be a Baron here. No, it looks like ZMG wants to end the game right now. Pip does get rooted up, taking a lot of damage here, mainly from T-Garden. Will pop the Dominus to try to survive, but the Maw of Malmortius shield does not help him very much here. Skips does take some damage from Glacial, but will manage to get the kill onto Pip as the Zeri cleans up Glacial to end the entirety of CB Rush and likely end any hope CB Rush had of keeping this game alive. Looks like ZMG is going to try and finish out this game on this wave. 1 turret falls, still about 5 seconds until anyone comes up, and the 2nd turret and the Nexus will fall. That is a victory for ZMG, and this match is going to game 3.
honestly this game. Honestly, ZMG just totally looked like a different team from what we've been seeing these past few games.
Yeah, are we sure that Luna didn't play game 1?
That's gonna be.
No flame to Luna, but they are the gold team. They are.
They also do tend to throw the first game to get a read of them and then reverse sweep.
That's a strategy.
I will
Alright.
say though, like reality on Nocturne was kind of a huge factor in that win. He was
Yeah,
just applying pressure, early game pressure so hard in like every lane.
did a much better job on the Nocturne than on the Diana. On the Diana, he managed to get kills, but didn't feel as if the kills mattered to the flow of the game. Game 2 was very different for him. But the problem here for ZMG is CB Rush has 3 bans. They don't necessarily need to ban the Darius or the Renata. So we might not see this Nocturne for Game 3.
Is the spots filled?
Uh, no, you should be able to join the lobby.
It keeps giving me an error.